Hey guys, this is Ryan Typhlosion37, coach of the Pittsburgh Steelas, bringing you week 4 of WPL season 7. I'm facing off against Nacho, coach of the Detroit Teravolts, and I believe we are both 3-0 at this point, so we're both fighting to stay undefeated. I think we were 2 of 3 teams still undefeated at this point in the season. His roster is Latios, Sylveon, Entei, Galvantula, Registeel, Quagsire, Mega Aerodactyl, Weavile, Decidueye, Conkeldurr, and Arbok. And my draft is Thundurus Incarnate, Necrozma, Goodra, Donphan, Garbodor, Granbull, Megalopunny, Porygon 2, Amoonguss, Bisharp, and Darmanitan. Getting into the team I brought this week, I have a fast Donphan with Earthquake, Knockoff, Ice Shard, and Seed Bomb. It is Assault Vest, and it's fast because I have Megalopunny with High Jump, Kick, Return, Agility, and Baton Pass. If I can Baton Pass an Agility into Donphan, it could be a very big problem to his team. Same thing with my Necrozma. It's Photon Geyser, Earthquake, X-Scissor, and Swords Dance with the Weakness Policy. If I can pass an Agility into that and set up a Swords Dance, it can pretty much just sweep, other than Unaware Quagsire. I have Thundurus Incarnate with Thunderbolt, Iron Tail, Dark Pulse, and Defog. It's Scarf. I really only brought it for Defog for the most part. I don't remember. He had Sticky Webs with Galvantula, and I really didn't like having to deal with webs, so I brought it pretty much just to get rid of that, but he didn't even bring the webs. And Iron Tail was for the Sylveon, otherwise Dark Pulse and Thunderbolt hit the rest of his team. And Gastrodon is physically defensive with Earthquake, Scald, Ice Beam, Recover. It's physically defensive with Sticky Hold and Leftovers. And then I have a specially defensive Granbull with Play Rough, Earthquake, Rest, and Roar. I did not have an answer to Latios on my draft that matched up well. Bisharp was my best answer to it, but he has a Conkeldurr and Entei. A Quagsire, Mega Aerodactyl can Earthquake it, Weavile gets Low Kick, and if he had HP Fighting on Latios, it pretty much just swept me. He said he didn't bring Webs because of Defiant Bisharp, but Bisharp doesn't do anything in the matchup. So I brought Granbull as a semi-response to Latios with Rest and Spadef investment, but it's still not that great of a response. So getting into the battle, I'm going to lead with my Donphan to just hit something hard, and he leads with Latios. I know I can live anything because I'm sturdy and Assault Vest, so I'm just going to click Knockoff. And I have no reason not to click Knockoff. He goes into the Quagsire, and the damage does show he's physically defensive, I believe, but even so, Seed Bomb still kills, which is perfect. So he's going to go into the Conkeldurr, and I switch into Granbull. It's my special wall, but it's also my best switch into a Guts Conkeldurr, and based on the damage, the default set I had up for some reason was Sheer Force, so based on the damage, it showed that he was non-adamant with Sheer Force, but I kind of forgot to get Iron Fist. He did reveal after the match he was Iron Fist adamant because he wanted the freeze chance with Ice Punch, so he didn't want Sheer Force. So he goes into Entei here, as I believe I just click Play Rough, because I figured if he went into Entei, I had Gastrodon to switch in every single time. The damage does reveal he's banded. Even with the crit, it still does under half. The burn's annoying because I'm running Earthquake, but that was mainly just for Sylveon, so I don't need to worry about that. And I know his Conkeldurr isn't Guts, so I can spam Scald. He goes back into Latios, and I'm just going to sack my Granbull. I really don't need it for much because I realize my Gastrodon could wall the Conk. And really, once Latios goes down, Gastrodon just beats his entire team from what I'm seeing. So I go into my Donphan and click Knockoff, and he stays in, which really surprised me. He gets this Spadef drop, which doesn't matter because I'm just going to click Ice Shard, and he lets the Latios go down. So now I'm just thinking my Gastrodon just wins. He goes into Weavile, and I just sack this because if he's banded Weavile, it could potentially do a KO Gastrodon. And I figured if I sacked it, I could just go into Lopunny and claim a kill. So I'm just going to click High Jump Kick and do way too much damage. I don't want to take an Extreme Speed, so I'm going to go into Gastrodon and just recover until I'm at a good amount of health. The burn damage and Extreme Speed is doing a decent amount, but I want to make sure I'm at high health in case he's banded Weavile and tries to kill me. So I think I click recover one more time. No, I click Scald there. Entei goes down. We're up 4-3, and I don't see how he beats my Gastrodon at this point. He goes into Conk, and I can just recover. He goes for sub, which kind of scared me, but at the same time, I knew that he couldn't really do a ton. He uses Ice Punch and it only does like 30%, and my Scald breaks his sub every time, so I'm not really too scared of this. I believe I just click Scald again as he goes for sub because I know I can live 2 of anything, which actually could have been bad if he went for Drain Punch, because Drain Punch I think is a roll to kill at this point, or just straight up a 2-hit KO. So I click recover there expecting him to attack, and he does reveal the Drain Punch for the first time there. And now I know if I can get a Scald burn, this Conkeldurr is done, and I believe I do burn here. So now my Gastrodon can successfully completely stall out this Conkeldurr, which is amazing. I just really don't see a point or a way that he can beat my Gastrodon at this point. So this is gonna go on for a while. Him clicking Drain Punch and Ice Punch, me clicking Recover and Scald. So I'm just gonna skip through it because it's pretty stally, and I apologize for doing it in the chat. I was like, I'm sorry, but this is my best chance to make sure I win. He's like, yeah, it's okay, I understand. So it finally went down there. He goes for Z Black Hole Eclipse, and that did nothing. It did under half, so I recover off the damage. And the only way my Gastrodon doesn't just win here is if he Icicle Crash flinches me, and that's exactly what's going to end up happening. I don't Scald Burn him, and then I believe I click, he misses an Icicle Crash as I recover, and then he flinches me here, and I could not risk staying in there and having my Gastrodon lose, because then Mega Aerodactyl could have a chance to potentially sweep the rest of my team if I let Gastrodon get weakened. And Calking, I knew Lopunny could live anything from Weavile, so I switched it in as he used knockoff, and now I just click high jump kick, Weavile goes down, and now I know for a fact I win because Gastrodon can beat the Aerodactyl. I switch into Thundurus, sacking it off because I didn't want Lopunny to get a death. He goes for Wing Attack, and I am Scarf, so that was a roll depending on his bulk, and I was fine letting my Thundurus go down to make sure I won. I just didn't want Lopunny to go down, and I knew I had a chance at saving differential if he used Wing Attack or Aerial Ace like he did. And he actually missed the Stone Edge, which is unfortunate for him. Obviously, I would have won the match anyways, but that does affect differential by 1. So, good game to Nacho. His link, as I believe I said, will be in the description. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. My Twitter is also in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next week.